Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Namaste to all gadgeted officers, IS, IPS, doctors, surgeons. Success does not come from what you do occasionally, it comes from what you do consistently. So let's just stay consistent in our preparation. Welcome back to the weekly current affairs series part 5 covering updates from 24 to 31st August 2025. We have already completed 56 new updates till part 4, and in this video we will continue from the 57th news update onwards. For each update, I have included prelims and mains question for UPSC, BPSC and state PCS exam, MCQ based question for SSC banking and other competitive exams. So make sure you watch till the end and practice along. Remember, every small step you take today will shape your big success tomorrow. Keep learning, keep growing, and never give up on your dreams. In the upcoming videos, I will post biology and English grammar lesson along with the next current affairs series from 1st to 7th September 2025. All updates are designed with prelims and mains question for civil services and MCQs for SSC banking, and so keep practicing regularly. After watching this video, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for regular updates. See you soon in the next video. So let's get started. Next news is Exercise Bright Star 2025. India is deploying over 700 personnel from its armed forces and headquarters integrated defense staff to participate in Exercise Bright Star 2025. So India is deploying how many personnel? 700 personnel from its armed forces to participate in Exercise Bright Star 2025. It was held in Egypt from August 28 and it's going on till September 10. This is 19th edition Exercise Bright Star 2025, which is held in Egypt, and it is among the largest multinational military drills in the Middle East and North Africa. The event includes how many countries? 43 countries, with 13 sending troops and 30 acting as observers. So, this exercise marks India's growing role in global military cooperation and regional security. So, it is initiated about Exercise Bright Star. It was initiated in 1980 as a bilateral drill between Egypt and States. So it is initiated in the year 1980 as a bilateral drill between two countries, Egypt and United States. Now the events include 43 countries. So Bright Star has evolved into a major multilateral event. So it is hosted biennially by Egypt alongside the United States. The exercise is conducted under the United States Central Command's responsibility and aims to enhance regional stability, military cooperation, and interoperability among partner nations. About contingent and activities, Indian contingent includes personnel from all the three forces, Army, Navy, and Air Force. So they will participate in live firing exercises demonstrating operational capabilities. A command post exercise will simulate joint planning and decision making in a multinational environment. There is also short training modules which will focus on modern warfare tactics. Subject matter expert interaction also take place, which will cover domains such as cyber warfare, joint logistic, and strategic communication. So it is a strategic importance for India. It supports India's vision of security and growth for all in the region Sagar. So the exercise builds experience in multinational operation, which is essential for peacemaking and coalition task. So it also deepens strategic ties relationship with Egypt, United States, and other nations. UPSC, BPSC prelims type MCQ exercise Brightest Star 2025 recently in news is related to which of the following? Next, SSC General Awareness Question Exercise Bright Star was 2025 was held in which country? Banking General Awareness Exercise Bright Star 2025, in which India participated, is primarily aimed at strengthening joint military training and defense ties. UPSC mains question. India recently participated in exercise Bright Star 2025, one of the largest multinational military exercise. Discuss the significance of such exercise for India's defense preparedness and strategic diplomacy. How do they contribute to India's role in regional and global security architectures? BPSC main question. Exercise Bright Star 2025 has been considered a milestone in India's growing defense cooperation at the global level. Explain its importance for India's military preparedness and foreign policy. How can such exercises help Bihar and other states in terms of youth, employment, and defense opportunities? So, opportunities for Bihar youth in Army, Navy, Air Force, and paramilitary through exposure to international defense ties. It boosts in defense manufacturing under Make in India scheme, which can open industries and many employment avenues across states. It also promotes skill development and training opportunities, which is linked to defense collaboration. Next news is United Nations launches global mechanism for cyber space governance. The United States has recently launched the global mechanism for cyberspace. So it is permanent international forum which aims to promote responsible state behavior in cyberspace. So it's aimed to promote to take care responsible state behavior in the field of cyberspace. So the United Nations has recently launched the global mechanism for cyberspace. So it focuses on norms, rules, international law, capacity building, and confidence building measures. The global mechanism was established after 27 years of complex diplomacy. So it builds on the census reached by the open ended working group on July 11. So it builds on the census which is reached by the open ended working group OEWG on July 11th. This marks a new chapter in the field of global cyber governance. About evolution of cyber diplomacy began with the group of government experts GGE from 2004 to 2017. The group of government experts they made important progress but had limited membership and mandates. And the group of government experts and which is census by the open-ended working groups process started in the year 2018 was more inclusive. All 193 United Nations member state could participate. So in this, all 193 United Nations member states could participate. So this openness allowed a wide-ranging census, including the creation of global mechanism. So they shared threat of cybercrime, which is crossing borders, united even geopolitical rivals. So they shared the threat of cybercrime, crossing borders, united even geopolitical rivals. So this common vulnerability made cooperation possible. India's role, India is well positioned to influence global mechanism futures as the world largest democracy. India has a major technology power. India has a strong diplomatic and technical resources. India during during OEWG negotiation, open-ended working group negotiations showed its commitments to inclusive governance and balanced digital sovereignty. India also advocates for respecting national autonomy. Also, India also encouraging international cooperation. So, India's domestic digital success, India's Digital India and the Aadhaar and UPI system which adds credibility. So these initiatives demonstrate India's ability to manage large-scale digital governance like Digital India, Aadhaar, and UPI system. So capacity building and digital device, the GM success depend on reducing the digital device. Many countries lack the capacity to participate fully in cyber governance. India can lead capacity building efforts based on its experiences. India's IT sector is globally recognized for software development and cyber security. India's training program have benefited thousands in the global south. India's focus on frugal innovation, which offers sustainable models for developing nation. India's education institution, including IITs, support large-scale technical trainings. India also support distance learning and digital education models, which is beneficial for future outreach. There are few challenges also. Despite progress, challenges remain. Political agreement must lead to real behavioral changes. Voluntary norms require enforcement mechanism. Attribution of cyber attacks remain complex both technically and politically. So there are geopolitical tension which continue to undermine trust. Cyber technologies intersect with other emerging critical technologies, complicating governance. Prelims type question UPSC BPSC, the recently launched global mechanism GM for cyberspace governance by the United Nations aims to establish norms for responsible use of AI and digital technologies. Next question is, the United Nations recently launched the Global Mechanism for Cyberspace Governance to address cybersecurity and responsible digital governance. Next MCQ question is, the primary objective of the Global Mechanism for Cyberspace Governance launched by the United Nations is to ensure safe and secure digital ecosystem. So these are the PCS, UPSC, BPSC prelims type MCQ, then SSC based MCQ, and banking current affairs MCQ based. Mains type question for UPSC, BPSC, and state PCS question. The launch of the global mechanism for cyberspace governance by the United Nations highlights the growing importance of cybersecurity in international relations. Discuss its significance for India's digital economy and national security. What challenges does India face in global cyberspace governance? So the students to write about India's growing digital footprints, Digital India, UPI, AI governance, cybersecurity threats like ransomware, phishing, cyber warfare, strategic concerns to be adapted, data sovereignty, digital divide, 5G or 6G challenges, India's role at global forums, United Nations, G20, SCO, and Quad. Next news is global economic impact of invasive species explodes. So recent research reveals that invasive plants and animals have cost the world economy over $2.2 trillion since 1960. So this figure is 16 times higher than previous estimates. The study uses data from InvaCost. The study uses data from InvaCost, which is a comprehensive public data base. According to InvaCost, it marks underreporting, especially in countries like India, about the invasive plants and animals. So the finding emphasizes the vast economic burden invasive species impose across continents and the challenges in managing them. So, about invasive species have caused economic damage worth $2.2 trillion globally from 1960 to 2022. Europe bears the largest share with $1.5 trillion, followed by North America, then Asia, Africa, and Oceania. The high cost in Europe reflect both extensive damage and expensive agricultural and management activities. Because of this, Europe bears the largest share with $1.5 trillions economic damage. This figure indicates the invasive species are a major economic threat worldwide. So, according to this figure, there is a underreporting and discrepancy Few discrepancies are the study marks massive underreporting of management cost, especially in country like India, where the discrepancy reaches 1.16 billion percent. Europe, Asia, Africa also saw large gaps between reported and actual cost. So this suggests that many countries lack comprehensive data collection and reporting system, which is leading to a hidden economic burden. There is also language barriers and limited resources contribute to the challenge. So these are the also under reporting and discrepancy in India. Damage cost, management cost, mixed costs, billions of United States dollars in this uh, about this impact of invasive species explode. Impact of invasive species explode. So species are mosquitoes, rats, cats, termites, fire ants, brown tree snakes, ball weevils, European gypsy moths, African bees, new world screw worm flies. So billions of United States dollars. So what are the this chart is showing the damage cost also, management cost also, and mixed cost also. So types of invasive species, plants are the most costly invasive group with nearly $96 926 billion in damage and a management cost. Arthropods and mammals follow, costing $830 billion and $263 billion respectively. Species like Japanese knotted and common lantana are particularly expensive to control. These species spread mainly through global trade and travel, which is added by globalization and bilateral agreements. There are many challenges in managing this invasive species. Eradicating, removing all invasive species is not always easy or beneficial or feasible, as many agricultural products are themselves non native. Management strategies include prevention, control, eradication, and suppression for these invasive species. The balance between reducing invasive species and supporting global trade is complex. The climate change and increased vegetation add further layers to these challenges. About international policies and efforts, several global agreements aim to limit these different types of invasive species. The Ballast Water Management Convention, the Ballast Water Management Convention help in regulating seeping practices to prevent aquatic invasion. The next one is the Convention on Biological Diversity, which urges countries to control or to remove or to eradicate harmful alien new type of species. These frameworks show global recognition of the threat and promote coordinated action. There is a need for improved data and action. Large gaps in cost reporting show the need for better data gathering and transparency. Accurate economic assessment can drive more effective policies. So, while the study focuses on economic cost, it also serves as a call to strengthen invasive species management worldwide. About financial impacts, it helps raises awareness and prioritizes resources. MCQ based question recently, the which is beneficial for all the exam UPSC, BPSC, SSC, banking. Recently, the first year global study highlighted the invasive alien species cause significant economic damage worldwide. According to the finding, the estimated cost of invasive species to the global economy is, which of the following is an example of an invasive species in India that has caused ecological and economic damage? So, most that has caused ecological water hyacinth. Consider the following statements regarding invasive species and the global economic impact. Just go through the fact: agriculture, fisheries, forestry, and human health. They spread mainly due to global trade and rebels. So it's not declining. Answer 3 is wrong. Now, main type question: invasive alien species pose not only an ecological threat but also a significant economic burden worldwide. Discuss the economic impacts of invasive species globally and suggest measures India can adapt to reduce these challenges to mitigate these challenges. Pointers to answer: definition of invasive species, Global study $423 billion annual loss in agriculture, forestry, fisheries, health. Examples: zebra mussel, United States; water hyacinth in India; fall army worm in Africa and Asia, which is if these are the invasive species and affecting these countries. Impacts are crop losses, fisheries decline, health cost, malaria, mosquitoes, biodiversity loss also. So these are the impacts which is eventually affecting livelihoods. India's case: Lantana camara, Prospois juliflora, Parthenium, water hyacinth. Parthenium is one type of weeds, plant weed, water hyacinth. India's case, which is in invasive alien type of plant species, or which is affecting India's. Measure early warning system. Measure to adopt early warning system, stricter biosecurity awareness campaigns, restoration of native species, international cooperation. Next, MCQ based question. The first year global study on invasive alien species estimated their annual economic impact of $423 billion. This cost is primarily due to loss in agriculture, forestry, fishery, and health expenditure. Next news is governor powers under Article 200. The Court of India recently examined the discretionary powers of governors under Article 200 of the Constitution. So, under Article 200 of the Constitution, the Court of India recently examined the discretionary power of governors. So, this followed concern about governors delaying assent to crucial state bills for years. The court questioned why judicial review applies to governance reports under Article 356 for President's rule, but not to their action under Article 200. So the Supreme Court questioned why judicial review applies to governance report, which is under Article 356 for President's rule, but not to their action under Article 200. So these has a sparked debate on the balance of powers between the judiciary, governance, and the center. About the governor's role under Article 200, Article 200 empowers governors to grant or withhold assent to state bills. They may also reserve bills for the president's consideration or return them for reconsideration. The Supreme Court ruled governors cannot exercise an absolute or pocket veto indefinitely. They must decide as soon as possible and act on the advice of the State Council of Ministers, except in few rare cases which is affecting judiciary power. So they must decide as soon as possible and act on the advice of States Council of Ministers, except in few exception in few rare cases which is affecting judiciary powers. So, governance rule under Article 200, it delay in assent invites judicial review also. About judicial review of governance discretion, while Article 356 decision triggering President's rule are subject to judicial review, the governor's discretion under Article 200 was traditional seen as a wider concept. The court challenged this, stating if the governor's reports under 356 can be reviewed, so should the delay or the withholding of assent under Article 200. So it ensures government do not stall legislative processes arbitrarily. So the court challenges these, stating if the governor's report under Article 356 can be reviewed, so should the delay or withholding of assent Article 200. So it ensures governor do not stall legislative processes arbitrarily. So President's rule under Article 356. Article 356 allow the President to impose direct central rule in any state if constitutional machinery fails. This can occur on the governor's report or other evidence. This can happen on the governor's report or other evidence. The President rules suspend the state government with the administration taken over by the governor on behalf of the center. Parliamentary approval is also needed within 2 months. Mandatory is needed within 2 months, and it can extend up to 3 years under strict conditions. So, about the President rule under Article 356. What are the condition and limitation on President rules? The 44th Amendment restricts President's rule beyond 1 year unless a national emergency exists or election cannot be held. The 44th Amendment restricts President rule beyond 1 year unless a national emergency exists or election cannot be held. The Supreme Court's S.R. Bomai's judgment laid down guidelines to prevent misuse, including judicial review of the proclamation and limitation on dissolving assemblies without Parliament's consent. President's rule must be an exceptional measure, it is not a political tool. About the misuse and safeguards, historically, Article 356, President rules under Article 356 was misused to dismiss opposition ruled state government. The Supreme Court and Commission like Sarkari and Punchi have recommended safeguards. These includes warning to states, parliamentary oversight, and exploring localized emergencies instead of full state takeover. The governor's role is also kept in check to prevent all discrepancy or arbitrariness. What are the significance for Indian federalism? So the evolving judicial stance reinforces federal balance by checking unchecked powers of governors and the center. It also protects state legislature autonomy and it also ensures timely legislative functioning. So the debate marks the need for clear constitutional boundaries and it also respects for democratic processes within the state. MCQ based question prelims types under Article 200 of the Indian Constitution, the government can take the following action on a bill passed by the state legislatures. Answer is given. Just go through it. Which of the following bills must be reserved by the governor for the president's consideration? So answer is given. Go through it. Consider the following statement regarding Article 200. Means type question for civil services exam. The governor's power Article 200 often become a point of friction between the center and the states. Discuss in the light of recent controversy which is related to delay in giving assent to state bills. You have to discuss Article 200's option before governance, assent, withhold, return, reserve, then must reserve if it affects High Court's powers. Discuss about the recent issues, delays in assent, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Telangana cases. Then discuss about Supreme Court observation. Governors cannot sit independently on bills 2023 verdicts. Constitutional morality and cooperative federalism. Reform suggested time limit for governance decision, limiting discretionary powers. Banking SSC factual one-liner question governors on Article 200. Under Article 200 of the Indian Constitution, the governors can withhold assent, return bill if not a money bill, or reserve if the consideration of the president, which type of bill must mandatory be reserved for the president. Next one is Adi Karamyogi initiative, which is launched in 2025. It aims to build a cadre of 20 lakh change leaders in tribal villages across India. So it aims to build a cadre of 20 lakh change leaders in tribal villages across India. The Tribal Affair Minister is driving this program, Adi Karamyogi initiative, under the Dharti Aba जनजातीय ग्राम उत्कर्ष अभियान अंडर द धरती अब जनजातीय ग्राम उत्कर्ष अभियान to improve last mile delivery of welfare schemes. So it focuses the focus is on participatory problem solving and motivation among official and community members. About the background and purpose, tribal areas face many development challenges, not for lack of schemes, but due to low motivation among implementers. The initiative was born from a national workshop where this gap was identified. It also seeks to empower officials and villagers to find solution from within, encouraging action and optimism rather than dwelling on problems. About the training structure and coverage, the program plans to train 240 state-level master trainers, 2,750 district trainers, and over 15,000 block trainers. The trainers will cascade the training 20 lakh village level official volunteers and community leaders. So training is currently at state and district level and will soon reach village levels across 324 districts. About the participatory training activities, it symbolizes bringing light instead of cursing darkness. So interactive, there is a training includes interactive exercises such as lighting candles to symbolize bringing light instead of cursing darkness. Role play simulate village scenarios are there, like solving water scarcity. Quiz ball exercise is there, not timing and human not exercises, which help in teaching problem solving and cooperation, emphasizing that solution lie within the individual and groups. So, village vision and aspirational blueprints. Each of 1 lakh target village will create a village vision document for the year 2030. This vision will be displayed as public murals serving as a aspirational blueprint for government action. So, this empowers communities to set their own development goals and engage with the state machinery meaningfully. Adi Seva Kendras and scheme access will establish 1 lakh Adi Seva Kendras. The goal is to achieve 100% saturation of scheme delivery, simplifying the process and improving transparency. It is a help in creating safe space and emotional learnings. So the program promotes Mutram like spaces within the village to encourage sharing and collecting learnings. It also break hierarchical barriers and help participants express their emotion freely. Learning styles such as activist, reflector, theorist, and pragmatist and recognized to enhance engagements. Emoji quiz are also used to help human moods, encouraging emotional intelligence. MCQ based question. And the Adi Karmyogi initiative recently launched by the government of India is related to skill development of tribal government employees. Which ministry has launched the Adi Karmyogi portal? Ministry of Tribal Affairs. The Adi Karmyogi initiative aims to provide training to how many government employees working in tribal area is in initial phase, that is a 20,000. So, mains type question for civil services exam. The Adi Karmi Yogi initiative is a step towards capacity building and inclusive governance in tribal region. Discuss the objective significance and expected outcome of this initiative. So, pointers for answer launched by Ministry of Tribal Affairs, digital capacity building program for IZOT Karmi Yogi platform, target approximately 20,000 government employees serving in tribal areas, which is initial phase. Objectives to better delivery of a scheme, sensitivity towards tribal needs, transparency and inclusivity. Significance strengthened mission Karmyogi vision, which empowers tribal development administrations. Expected outcomes, improved governance, efficient implementation of welfare schemes, enhanced trust in administration. One-liner question for banking SSC. The Adi Karmyogi initiative launched by the Ministry of Tribal Affairs is a capacity building program for how many government employees serving in tribal areas in initiative phase. Next news is Indian Army Terrier Cyber Quest 2025. The Indian Army, as part of its decades of transformation, has launched the Territe Cyber Quest 2025. So, this national level challenge aims to tackle real defense and cyber security threats. So, the event is held in New Delhi with collaboration from IT Madras, Indian Army Research, IARC, and cyberspace. It invites India's largest brightest mind from academia, industry, and government to innovate in critical technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, quantum computing, and drone technology. So the competition undermines the importance of a strong digital defense strategy. for and encourages skilled individuals to become digital warriors. Objective of this Indian Army Terrier Cyber Quest 2025 is focuses on encouraging indigenous innovation in quantum machine learning and cyber security. It also promotes critical thinking and prototype development to strengthen national security and defense technology infrastructure. The event offers a platform for participants to directly contribute to national defense through technology-driven solution. Competition tracks, there are two challenge features. Two main tracks. Track one, big bug hunting challenge, a high stakes cybersecurity hackathon. Participant engage in a 36-hour live bug hunt on the BOSS Linux system. Aims to uncover operating system level vulnerabilities in a simulated Indian Army environment to enhance system robustness. Track 2 is a datathon, which is a data-centric challenges that test participant ability to build technological solution for defense. The 2025 focus is on predictive threat intelligence and anomaly detection using large-scale data scale. So advanced problem statements are theirs. So the event includes cutting edge problem statements at the intersection of artificial intelligence, quantum computing, cyber security. Cyber security. So participant will tackle challenges such as a drone flight anomaly detection and quantum enhanced malware or ransom identification. So this task aim to develop real-time advanced detection system critical for modern defense. Final and recognition, finale and recognition. In the grand finale, track one finalist will complete in one attack defense style challenge focused on critical infrastructure and defense. So it tracked two finalists with have 36 hours to develop a fully functional deepfake detection system using AI and ML. Winners will be honored by the Chief of the Army Staff, General Upendra Dwivedi. Prizes will acknowledge innovative solutions that contribute to national security. So, prelims question is the Indian Army Terrier Cyber Quest 2025 is primarily a national level challenge, focuses on which second to, question two, which of the following is not one of the two companies tracked in Terrier Cyber Quest 2025. Now, next question is, which is the venue for the grand finale of Terrier Cyber Quest 2025? Mains type question, Terrier Cyber Quest 2025 exemplifies India's push for indigenously developed digital defense capabilities. Discuss the objective, structure, and strategic significance of this initiative in the context of national securities. So, you have to discuss background in objective, track 1, track 2, timeline, and significance. Next question is Terrier Cyber Quest 2025 organized by the Indian Army along with IIT Madras and Cyberpeace is a national level challenge conducted in which city? For banking SSC exam. Next news is NDP appoints Dr. Rajiv Ranjan as vice president. The New Development Bank appoints Dr.